I declare this celebration open.
Lively crowd today. As Deputy Head of the College of Arts and Law, I'm delighted to welcome you all today as we reunite the class of 2020 in celebration of their achievements during their time at Birmingham and since then. This is not, of course, a normal degree ceremony, and it is not taking place at the normal time of year, but then these have hardly been normal times. All of you have your own memories of how you felt in the spring and summer of 2020 as our campus moved almost entirely online. This was not the conclusion to your degrees that you had wanted, no doubt, and it is not the one that we had wanted for you. But in some extremely challenging, indeed unprecedented circumstances, you showed remarkable resilience, remarkable ingenuity, tenacity, precisely the kinds of qualities that we seek to nurture in our students and that will serve you really, really well in the years to come. So well done to you, and to some extent well done to us as well, I suppose. You adapted, you persevered, and you graduated with our esteem. This is whether you completed an undergraduate, postgraduate, or a research degree. I hope you'll look back with fondness on your years at Birmingham. We are proud of your achievements, and you should be proud of them too. Now, graduations are always a defining moment in the university's calendar, and your graduation is a defining moment in your lives. It's a moment that we as a university couldn't simply let pass without the recognition that it deserves. So last year we celebrated your graduation virtually in the summer, but we always remain committed to bringing you back to campus for a more tangible, face-to-face graduation experience. So we're one of a handful of universities that are holding graduation celebration on campus for their 2020 graduates. And the events we're hosting today demonstrate the value we place on you and on your achievements. We hope you'll enjoy this opportunity. Take it, please, to be reunited with each other, to share a nice, if not especially warm and sunny afternoon with friends and family, to put on your Sunday best and your robes and your hat, and to reflect on your achievements since your degree, during your degree indeed, and since. During the pandemic, the university community changed substantially, but it did play a part in the response to the crisis. This is perhaps scant consolation, given the disruption this caused to your lives, but some good things happened during this period as well. Some of the researchers here, for instance, developed new tests to detect COVID, new medical interventions for those suffering from it. Some have contributed to the understanding of the disease so that we might better deal with it. Many of you supported vulnerable members of the community in Selly Oak and in your communities farther afield, distributing food and medicine to those in need, volunteering in hospitals, helping neighbors, all kinds of things. The student response to the pandemic was really impressive, and it's continued. And we remain grateful, indeed proud, of the way in which our students have supported their communities and each other. Now, you might not appreciate the extent to which this is true, but you have done pretty extraordinary things in recent times. And we're here to celebrate those achievements. You came to the University of Birmingham, presumably, because you wanted to come to a place of learning, to test yourself, to equip yourselves for the next phase of your life. You stand here today, now, having overcome some very tall barriers and having already begun the first steps in what we hope will be really rich and fulfilling lives after your studies here. So these degree celebrations in the so-called green heart of campus this year are a first for the university. But it's not the first, as it were. You might be interested to know, it's not widely known, but you might be interested to know that you're graduating from the first campus university in the country. The first to incorporate a medical school, to allow women to take medical degrees, to create a women's hall of residence. More recently, the first university to open a secondary school. But more importantly for us here today, perhaps today represents a first for you. Let me particularly congratulate those of you who were the first in your families to graduate. Others of you will have been the first in your family to study in this country, or maybe the first to achieve a postgraduate qualification. Some of you may even be the first to make a particular discovery in your field of doctoral research. But you were all, every one of you, among the first to graduate through a global pandemic and to take your first steps into employment or further study as that pandemic continued to afflict the world. No one had to do this before. Hopefully no one will have to do it again. But you've each overcome challenges that few others have faced. All of you then will have your own unique and personal story of what it took for you to complete your degree and the challenges that you faced. Each of you here can feel extraordinarily proud of what you accomplished. And the same, I should say, applies to all of the others who are here with us today. Parents, grandparents, guardians, mentors. As someone with firsthand experience of this, my son was a 2020 graduate of a different institution. Never would have gone here. As much as he liked Birmingham, he was never going to study where his old man worked. But as someone with firsthand experience of bringing up kids, traveling around all those Saturdays to open days, seeing them off to university, and then seeing them finish, also someone with the experience of, maybe it's a shared one here, of precipitously driving off and moving them back home the last minute before the lockdown at midnight, perhaps a common experience. I'd also like to thank you, all of you, parents, grandparents, guardians, mentors, for the crucial part you've played here. None of this would be happening without you. But for most of you who are here in your robes today, last summer will have marked the end of one kind of relationship with the university and the start of a new one. You've now spent more than a year as Birmingham alumni, and as such you join around 300,000 other people in more than 170 countries around the world. Our alumni engage in a dizzying array of professions and projects, and we look forward to witnessing your own achievements and successes being added to the list in years to come. You and all of those who are with you today have many reasons to be proud. Now, we share in that pride. And on that note, I'll now just hand over to Charlotte Minter, student rep for English. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Professor Ross. Good afternoon to the 2020 graduates from the University of Birmingham. We finally made it to our graduation day like no other. I'd like to start by saying a huge congratulations to everyone here and watching online today. Over 18 months ago, our time at Birmingham was cut short by a global pandemic, but we all continued to put in the work and gain bachelor's, master's, and doctorates in our respective fields. That surely deserves a celebration. When we said goodbye to friends, lecturers, and course mates during those strange weeks of March 2020, many of us thought we'd be reunited for a lovely celebration that same summer. Little did we know we'd be waiting a lot longer for this special day. But let's not let that take anything away from the moment that we all deserve. If anything, the prolonged wait has given us more time to reflect on our experience here at Birmingham and celebrate the things we have achieved since. Nonetheless, our abrupt ending to university life was unexpected and left some of us without that feeling of closure that we can hopefully gain today. In the months following March, we came to miss so much about Birmingham as we finished the term online and completed dissertations from our bedrooms. Maybe you missed the gigantic burritos from Go Central or the rocket fuel coffee from the library cafe, but like most of us, throughout the pandemic, it was the people we missed the most. Whether you met your closest friends through your course, accommodation, societies, sports clubs, or elsewhere, the relationships we formed at university were integral to our time here and helped many of us get to where we are now. Without the laughs, comfort, and support that those friendships provided, university would have been a much duller and tougher time for us all. From the "it's time to get our heads down" talks to the "we only need 40% to pass" night outs, our friends often kept us in check with tough love and a bit of fun, a winning combination for what can be difficult years. In February last year, I was elected as the Guild of Students Welfare and Community Officer for the year 2020 to 2021, which was a real privilege. During my time in this role, I learned lots more about just some of the amazing teams that help the university to function. From maintenance to security, from facilities to events staff, from welfare support to everyone at the Guild, there are so many people to be grateful for who work incredibly hard to make our university experience a positive one. Of course, our lecturers and tutors played a huge role in our journey as students, so let's also thank them for all the time and effort they put into helping us achieve academic success. And finally, it isn't just those within the university sphere who helped us to graduate, but our families, carers, partners and friends elsewhere who have offered encouragement and support to allow us to realise our potential. We've now lived a year as Birmingham graduates and have put the skills and knowledge that we acquired at this university to test in work, further study and other pursuits. We've had to develop and adapt in this uncertain world. For some of us, this has meant pressing pause on plans to travel or volunteer abroad, and for others, it's meant starting jobs without ever meeting colleagues in person. But for all of us, it's increased our sense of resilience and made us even hungrier for the future. So best of luck to everyone going forward, and enjoy this day of reunions and reflections. Hopefully now it is clear that we may have been the class whose studies were hit by COVID-19, but our perseverance and determination prevailed to get us here today. So let's be proud to be the class of 2020.
Good afternoon, graduates and guests. Firstly, I want to say a huge congratulations to everybody here today. It is a great pleasure to welcome you back to Birmingham, to this beautiful campus on this day of celebration. My name is Josephine Conway, and I'm a recent law graduate from this university. I stand here as a representative of the Guild of Students, as I was elected as this year's Activities and Employability Officer. The Guild of Students has over 500 different clubs, societies and associations. These can only function with the commitment, energy and enthusiasm of fellow students. Therefore, on behalf of the Guild, I would like to thank you all for your contributions whilst you were at this university. You were the students who sat on committees, raised money and awareness for great causes, staffed welcome week fairs and organised wonderful balls. You organised student groups ranging from the Harry Potter Society to the Hummus Society to the Hockey Club. You represented the university playing a sport, played in a campus league, learnt a new language, wrote an article for Red Brick, had a radio show on Burn FM, scored a goal on the Bournebrook pitches, performed in the Deb Hall, attended a fab or a sports night, and did great work for the local community. You supported other students in their difficult times and contributed to the university in so many ways. You did all of this alongside attending lectures, completing assignments, and revising and passing examinations. You continue to make the University of Birmingham a welcoming, friendly and inclusive university in a dynamic, friendly and vibrant city. Therefore, when success comes, which it will for every single one of you, I urge you to remember your time at Birmingham and the memories that you have made, because you are a part of the university's history and it is a part of yours. On a personal note, I know how much today means to you. I have two sisters who are both graduating here today, and I'm immensely proud of them. So I know that all of your families who are here with you today are immensely proud of you too. This is a wonderful day for you all, which celebrates your amazing achievements at the university and the amazing support of your families, friends, and carers. Therefore, on behalf of the Guild of Students, I want to congratulate you all and wish you every success in your future careers. Thank you.
It's always such a tough gig to follow our graduates. Thank you, Charlotte and Josephine, and good afternoon to you all. As Pro-Vice-Chancellor, it's my pleasure today to close this event. So, as we gather to mark your achievements during your time with us, you will no doubt remember the first day you came to study here. Let me encourage you to take a moment to remember how that felt and also how much you've changed since then. You might not be able to see it, but those around you can. From that moment onwards, you met new people, developed new ideas, overcame new challenges. You grew academically, intellectually, and personally. And now today, you've spent more than a year as graduates, and you are alumni of the University of Birmingham. The hard work paid off, and you now stand before us with new identities and experiences as professionals, educators, researchers, or ever more accomplished scholars. Whatever path you've taken since graduating, we are delighted to welcome you back. It's an enormous privilege for me to be able to congratulate you and feel the joy here as you celebrate your graduation as roomies, not zoomies, as I understand the jargon goes. Your success serves as a testament to the great students of this great university, and you should all be as proud of yourselves as we are of you. For those of you who've begun or continued your working lives after graduation, you have undoubtedly entered one of the most difficult job markets in living memory, unless that is you want to drive a lorry, I understand. To those of you who've entered a chosen profession, well done. You have our admiration and our congratulations. To those who are yet to do so, don't lose heart. You're a Birmingham graduate, and a degree from Birmingham is not easily obtained. It's valued by the country's top employers, who recognise that this university provides you with an outstanding education. You're already a high achiever, and while there'll always be challenges and there'll sometimes be setbacks, we've no doubt that you will make a success of the tasks you set to yourselves. Birmingham graduates have always been characterised by their perseverance, tenacity, and personal resilience. Yet, as the graduating class of 2020, your resilience has matched and in many cases exceeded that of any that's gone before. Many of you will have faced significant personal challenges, whether you recovered from COVID-19 yourself, spent periods self-isolating, coped with studying or working from home, or took on extra caring responsibilities. Some of you will have experienced the sadness of a personal loss. You will know the ways in which the pandemic has affected you personally, and you should be proud of all that you've accomplished in the face of that adversity. Don't forget the character that you've shown. Instead, draw on it as a strength in the future. You have seen your way through uncertain and difficult times. So whatever challenges you face from here on in, you'll be as well placed as any to meet and to overcome them. As a graduate of the University of Birmingham, you've gone out into a world that desperately needs you. It's a world that you can help to remake and reshape. A world that needs the kinds of skills, abilities, and commitments that characterize graduates from this university. The university's motto speaks of this, per ardua ad alta, which means through great efforts to high things. Clearly, your great efforts have already brought you high and great things, the degrees that we celebrate today. But your efforts will now take you to new places and still greater heights. You will test yourselves, prove yourselves, and together we'll rebuild the world for a better future for us all. In doing so, you'll be following a long and proud tradition. This university was founded with a clear vision of changing the city of Birmingham and the lives of those living and studying within it. And we have a long and proud history of philanthropy. Our founder, Joseph Chamberlain, set about raising the money required to build this university and our famous clock tower that needs a little bit of attention at this moment, I think. More than 100 years later, we're continuing to fulfill this vision of transforming lives with fundraising and a volunteering campaign called Birmingham in Action. It's ambitious and innovative, and it's offering life-changing opportunities for young people regardless of their background. and it's already supporting a broad range of groundbreaking research projects that will transform the future. So as alumni of this university, we really hope it's a campaign you can be proud of, and do get involved. And particularly, our current students really value the mentoring and engagement with alumni from the university. So wherever you find yourself in the world, you can be assured that you will always be part of this Birmingham family. We hope to welcome you back again in the future, whether that's for further study or, as I said, to mentor a student, or just come to an event and reunite with friends and enjoy the Green Heart. Know that we will always be here to provide you with advice, to support you, and to celebrate with you as your lives and careers develop. So as we draw this celebration to a close and you look forward to celebrating further with family and friends, let me thank you for everything you've given to us and to each other during your studies, and all that you've continued to do since graduation. The University of Birmingham would not exist but for its remarkable students and alumni. Each one of you has made your own contribution to this institution and left a legacy for the benefit of future generations. So as you continue into your next chapter, I wish you every success and trust that your experiences at Birmingham will continue to shape your lives. The graduating classes of 2020 and indeed 21 have had experiences like no other, and I believe you are uniquely placed to question, to challenge, and to change the world for the better. I hope the world is ready for you. Thank you. I declare the celebration closed.